Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of So You Want to Learn Sundays. I'm stoked to have you here. I'm glad to be here. Let's learn some stuff. Today I want to talk all about Premiere Pro. I want to cover some of the basics, and I'm probably going to split this out into a few episodes. So this is just going to be episode 1. We're gonna keep it simple, because when you're trying to take in a whole lot of new stuff, I know it's tough. It's really tough. Today we're going to be talking primarily about keyframes, what they mean, how they impact your footage, what you can use them for, and yeah, let's get into it. So what is a keyframe? They look a little something like this. You've probably seen them. And basically what a keyframe is just that. A keyframe that tells your editing software where a transition is going to occur over time. Keyframes aren't just used for conventional transitions, like from clip A to clip B. They're used for transitions over time in anything. So fading out of a clip, zooming out of a clip, or a change in audio level. All of those things are controlled by keyframes. So let me show you a quick example. So jumping into Premiere, you can see I've got my clip loaded in right here. It's a time lapse of a church I took from a few vlog episodes back. I'll link it somewhere in the description if you want to go and check out the actual episode I used it in. But as you can see, it's a pretty static shot. What if I wanted to start zoomed in and slowly zoom out to the point I'm at now? We use keyframes. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on my clip, and so it opens up here in the source panel, and if I click on effect controls, you can see I've got a position, a scale, rotation, anchor point, and anti-flicker filter. I don't need any of these controls. I'm just going to be using scale today. So the first step to using a keyframe to zoom out is using our scale parameter. If you click the stopwatch button, that's the toggle animation button. That enables keyframes for that clip. That means you can change these parameters to adjust over time. So I'm going to go ahead and click toggle animation, and you can see that dumps our first keyframe just there. It's right on the edge, and you can only just see it if I highlight it there. So that's keyframe number 1. That's set to 100%. So if I play through now, you just get the same clip as before. If I jump halfway through the clip and I change this to 150%, you can see that over time our clip slowly zooms in to the top of the church. If I move this closer, it'll zoom in much faster because there's much less time between these 2 points. You can see it's a much faster zoom. If I wanted it to be an instantaneous zoom, I'd move it to within kind of a couple of frames, and you get the same effect, just much quicker. So we don't want that. So I'm going to delete these 2 keyframes, and this button here allows you to just insert a new keyframe. So I'm going to add a keyframe at 100, and then I'm going to jump straight to the end of the clip, and I'm going to add another keyframe. So we've got our keyframes set. The next step is to establish what points we want at which keyframes. So we want to start our clip zoomed in. So if we head to the beginning of the clip and set our scale to something that looks good, I usually go for about 140 or 135. I'm going to go for 135 in this case because there's not a lot else in the frame. And our end keyframe is already set to 100, but if it wasn't, you can just go ahead and change this to 100. And if we play through now, you can see we get a nice slow zoom out. I arguably think this might be a bit too slow. What you can do in that case is just bring this keyframe in a touch to a point where you think, yeah, that looks good. Or what I like to do and what I prefer to do with time lapses specifically is if you come down here and right click and click on speed duration and just speed it up to about 10 seconds. So in this case, that's double speed. And then you can see we get a much faster movement and a much faster zoom out because it's happening over a shorter time period. And as you play through, you can see that Premiere automatically interpolates the frames between your 2 clips to get a nice smooth transition between the 2 keyframes. And that's kind of the basics of keyframes. The last thing I do want to touch on is changing the linearity of the keyframes. So if you right click, you can see you've got all these options. So you can have a linear keyframe, a Bezier, an auto Bezier, and so on and so forth. A good way to find out what each of these does for your specific clip is honestly just to try them all out. One I really like is if you drag the keyframes a bit closer, just so I can show you an example here. Ease out, ease in. So if you go to your first keyframe and select ease out and then ease into your second keyframe, you get this effect where you start out slowly, it ramps up in the middle, and then kind of eases out, just like the name would suggest. So I'll show you that now. Whereas if I had both of these set to linear, the speed is consistent and it just slow pans out. So that's kind of the basics of keyframes, guys. I'm going to be going into more detail of how you can use them and getting more in depth as the series continues. They'll be cropping up a lot. So make sure you come back and check out the next episode. It will be out on Sunday. I'm putting these up every Sunday. So if you liked the video, please go ahead, click the like button. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here. Go ahead, leave me some comments. Let me know if this helped you out. If any pointers for me, anything that you would like to see in future episodes. Take it easy, guys, and I will see you on Tuesday with a regularly scheduled vlog. Peace.